So unlike the X-Men in Alaska, we as the reader know exactly who the enemy is for the Uncanny X-Men of Louisiana. And whew, she's. My name is Dorian. This is SCN Comics. We are continuing our coverage of From the Ashes, and we are starting our coverage of the Uncanny X-Men with number 1. So a story starts off in Westchester County, New York. For all you old school X-Men fans, you know exactly where this is. For all you X-Men 97 fans, again, you know exactly where this is. It's the mansion. And for all you fans that were screaming to the rooftops that once Krakoa ended, you don't want them going back to the mansion, Marvel must have heard you, because you might as well go ahead and take a good look, because they ain't never probably going to be the same ever again. Ever again. I might be exaggerating, but seems like that. So the person that shows up, her name is Dr. Ellis. But from here on out, her name is going to be Heifer, because that's the way I look at her. She's a heifer. And in saying that, this heifer don't respect nobody. Like, her captain comes out to, let her out the car, give her like the situation. She just got in blowbaths say, hey, have somebody help this dude out the car and somebody fetch my bags. And as soon as she walks to the front door, she says, tear every scrap of wood and brass out of this ridiculous sham school, Captain, starting now. So the captain's like, and the student quarters, ma'am? Personal items are to be burned now, tonight. And just to show she's not too crazy, she goes, strip any art, anything of value, put in lockup for appraisal and conversion to liquid assets. So Warden's like, yes, madam, or Dr. Ellis. And then she's like, Captain, you better get used to start calling me Warden. And he goes, yes, ma'am, Warden. So then they get to Cerebro, and this is where this heifer really shows she is off her rocker. She goes, have you read Solzhenitsyn, Captain? Yes, I had to go to Google to get that pronunciation. She's like, he wrote a trilogy of books about Soviet gulags. She explains that I guess a secret police used to go to a subject's house. If he wasn't there, they just go next door and arrest who's ever over there. She's like, if the cause is just, there is no need to hide. Let the world see. Let their kind see. Public hangings if necessary. Put it on streaming. But she's also saying that Cerebro is like a symbol of mutant greatness, and she wants to tear it down. Like, we know who the enemy is, and it is this crazy heifer. So then the captain gets a message in his earpiece and goes, hey, our first prisoner's here. She's like, oh, well, let's not keep him waiting. And she goes, hello, inmate. Welcome home. We're going to be doing some remodeling. This is Xavier. This has to be a Xavier, right? Like, this is prisoner X. This is Xavier. I'm assuming. Pretty sure. So then we cut to Mexico, where we have Wolverine visit an old army buddy who is on death's door, and the army buddy is trying to offer him, I guess, a really old bottle of something. And Wolverine's like, I can't take it. You want it fair and square. And then the army buddy's like, but I'm dying, so you might as well go ahead and take it. And then he was like, you died before, right? And Wolverine's like, yeah. And then I came back. And he was like, well, how was it? What am I walking into? And Wolverine's like, I can't really explain it. All the memories I have is just blackness. But I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I miss the quiet. So go a little ways down the road, but we stay in Mexico City, where Wolverine is on his bike and he's next to some pyramids, and Rogue and Gambit come and meet him. So the reason why Wolverine called Rogue and Gambit is to take care of this, a dragon. So when the first thing somebody says is, this ain't Lockheed. No, it is not. Lockheed will shoot fire in your face. So I guess the Savage Avengers dealt with this dragon before, and he gave them a run for their money. So if you want to check it out, it's Savage Avengers 14 through 16. So in a nutshell, Wolverine says that this dragon mostly sleeps, but when he does wake up, he likes to eat people. So as they're wondering what the hell are they going to do with this dragon, how they're going to relocate it, all of a sudden it decides to wake up. And when he wakes up, we find out this dragon can talk. And he pretty much says that these three are his next meal. So yeah, he shoots fire at him, and Rogue's like, I'm pretty much fireproof, but this is dragon fire, so I might want to avoid it. So the dragon goes, yes, I see you. I see who you are. The thief, talking about Gambit. The hunter, talking about Wolverine. And then he goes to Rogue and goes, and a scared little girl. And Wolverine's like, you got about 2 out of 3 right with that one. So Wolverine's letting them know that the reason why he's saying that is because Agamotto had 2 eyes. Dr. Strange has 1. This dude has the other. So the dragon pretty much takes his tail and knocks the hell out of Rogue into the pyramid. And Rogue was like, I was trying real hard not to damage like the ancient artifacts here. So then the dragon's still talking mess to her, and she's like, all right, you know what? I'm tired of this. And she knocks the hell out of him into the pyramid again. So that pyramid's pretty much done. So Wolverine uses this opportunity, stabs at the dragon's stomach to get to the eye of Agamotto, but then the dragon uses it on Wolverine and blasts him right out of there. The Rogue goes again and is like, you know what? Anytime you want to get involved, you can, because it's been me and Wolverine doing most of the fighting. So Rogue gets on the left side, Wolverine's on the right side. When the dragon comes at him, they both hit an eye, so the dragon's blind, but the dragon's like, it doesn't matter. The eye of Agamotto lets me see all. So the dragon's pretty much about to fricassee Rogue and Wolverine when all of a sudden, through that whole commotion, Gambit all of a sudden has the eye of Agamotto and goes, you might want to wait. Otherwise, I'm pretty much going to take this thing out. So pretty much Gambit's like, look, you eat too many people. Why don't you go to Antarctica? You go there for a year. You don't eat anybody. And then we'll talk about giving this back to you. And the dragon's like, it would be nice to be an ice drake again. Like, is Drake the term for a dragon? Like Drake? Let me know in the comments. So the dragon agrees, and he's about to fly off, and he goes, before you took the eye from me, I did see your future. And all he says is endling, and then he flies away. Now, what I want to know is, how the hell is he supposed to get to Antarctica with no eyes? Anyway, they celebrate for a bit, and then Wolverine notices that his bike got melted, so he's going to have to hop a ride with them. So as they're walking to their van, which Gambit's like, we got the sports package and this extra. What the hell's a sports package? Wolverine's talking about the bottle that he got from his dying army buddy. When all of a sudden, Rogue's cell phone rings, and she finds out that it's Scott. He lets her know that the X-Men have been requested, but since he's in Alaska, they can't make it, and to see if they can go in their stead, which Rogue agrees to. And I guess Rogue's going to fill him in on what's going on in a minute. But now we go to the Pacific Northwest, around Central Oregon. This girl's running for her life, and of course these goons catch up to her. They start shocking her, and she starts to transform, and she's like deer legs, antlers, the ears, everything. She kicks the bejesus out of one. She takes her antlers and stabs the other one. So I'm thinking, all right, well, she's fine, but something's talking to her the whole time. And then she turns around, and these big old hands come out of nowhere, and they say, come to mommy, as she screams no. So then we cut to the University of Mississippi Medical Center, where Rogue, Wolverine, and Gambit meet Nightcrawler. They're there to see a kid who is a mutant, but he also has like some kind of terminal disease. He's dying, but right now his mutant power is like, I guess, reversing it somewhat. And they said, like, as far as like being like, if he's like a low level telepathy, and if a 0 is a 10, this kid's like a 1, maybe less than 1. But he's a huge X-Men fan, and he wants to meet him, so this is almost like Make-A-Wish, which the doctor is there to let him know about. So they walk in, and the kid's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. He's just so excited. He's like, Rogue, Gambit, Wolverine, Nightcrawler. Like, he knows them all, and he has a big giant-sized X-Men poster on his wall. I'm like, this is my kind of kid. So, of course, the kid asks Wolverine to pop his claws, and he's like, not in the hospital, kid. And Wolverine's like, where's the kid's parents? And she's like, oh, well, I sent him home to rest since he's like in remission. Wolverine's like, no, you better get him in here right now. He's talking to Rogue, has a really big smile on his face. Nightcrawler walks in and brings the X-Men jacket, like from back in like 2000, from like the new X-Men. Like, love that jacket. I would love to have one of those jackets. He gives to the kid, and then Rogue grabs his hand, and she notices how cold it is. Wolverine's like, you need to get somebody here right now. And sure enough, the kid starts having a seizure. But before he started having a seizure, he said endling. So unfortunately, the kid dies. The parents come and thank the X-Men because they know how big of an X-Men fan the kid was. So to see the X-Men before he died was something that they very much appreciated. And Rogue isn't taking it well. So Nightcrawler goes his separate ways. They head to Louisiana, to a place where I guess Gambit knows about, but hasn't really told Wolverine or Rogue about it, this guy walks up and is like, yep, I got a spot for you guys right in the back, and I got everything ready for you, Gambit. So they pretty much got some beers and they start talking, and Rogue's like, so, like, what are we going to do? Like, are we going to start up another team? And Wolverine and Gamma are both like, we don't really have to start up another team. Why don't we just live? So the Rogue's like, I called Kate and she clearly doesn't want anything to do with us. So no Charles, no Scott, no Kate. And then Gamma's like, again, why don't we just live our lives? You know, like, just let's stay out of the spotlight. So the Rogue's pretty much like, because of kids like Harvey, because before the school, I was nothing. And I'm not going back to being nothing. And like, I need a purpose. So the Wolverine's like, hey, be quiet. And she's like, no, you're not shutting me up. And Wolverine's like, I'm not shutting you up. Be quiet. Something's coming. And out of nowhere, these 4 kids who look to be like mutants and a horse comes out of nowhere and is like, help. She's coming for us. Help us, please. Now, was there a QR code on the back? Yes, there was. Did it have anything of importance? No. So I'm not bringing it up. This is the end of the comic. So feel free, definitely take a look and see for yourself. And can I just say something real quick? I probably don't say this enough, but you should definitely support your local LCS. Just support the industry. Like, I don't know where I would be if I didn't have comics to read. Like, would I be okay? Probably. But comics is definitely a way for me to get away from it all. And it seems like I tell the whole story, but I leave a lot out. So, you know, definitely pick up these issues, read it for yourself. I know a lot of you guys do already. So, you know, I'm just like the, you know, a different alternative or like a different perspective, which this is what this whole channel is about. You know, it's people's perspective, my perspective, your perspective. Like, this is why I made this channel, to get other people's perspective. So I don't say it enough. Support your local comic book store, support the comic book industry.